Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do an interesting reading that is inspired by the winged oracle deck that I saw online. And I thought to myself, I can't afford to order that deck just yet. Why don't I just do a themed reading on wings and feathers? And like, it's so interesting. I was like, I'm gonna pull some charms and see what I get. Originally I was like, well, maybe I should just pull out like the wings and the feather charms and stuff. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna pull out, see what I get. And we've got a whole bunch of them that did actually came out. I'm really excited for this. So there's a bunch of messages that want to come through, and then also like what was going to come through, like the tarot. And already we have the King of Swords, which we've got this winged man here. So this is like a perfect start to this inspired maybe mini series of readings that I do. I am going to post links to the oracle decks that really inspire me and that I'd like to order. Those of you who do Amazon stuff, and you can send it to my PO box. If you'd like me to read with those oracles, you're more than welcome to do that. I'd appreciate it actually a lot, because I want to move into a time period where I'm reading from different decks, and I can't afford to get all the decks that inspire me. So I'm going to put links to the ones that inspire me. And if there's any particular ones out of the group that I put, that you think would, be interesting to watch me read from, please order that. I wouldn't order anything that's like random. So like anything that I put a link to that says specifically that I'm inspired by. I'm very particular about the kinds of cards and stuff that I get. It all has to be kind of a certain vibration. So the stuff that inspires me, I will put links to, and you can send it to my PO box if you like. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. Even if it's $20 that you can donate, I appreciate it. I appreciate all readings that I book. Everybody's been very kind as far as supporting my channel, my work. So I appreciate it so much. So I'm going to jump in. Like, we've got the King of Swords here, and we've got, this winged man. And I typically do not see the King of Swords as a literal sun sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, at all. Like, I see the King of Swords as a deceased loved one, generally speaking. Sometimes I see it as a death in the family, and sometimes I see it as like a medical crisis. It just depends on what else is here. I'm going to pull a clarifier card to see. This popped up here. Okay, so like, this is going to sound like a really interesting message. What I'm getting is that for some of you, you're going through a very spiritually testing time. So like, you are being spiritually tested. Maybe you're coming up against some kind of moral issue, some kind of justice issue, some kind of issue that you feel like you're out of your scope. There are certain things like in my life I feel like totally out of my scope, out of my depth to be able to understand. And for some of you, you might in life have felt very tested, or just like there's been an insurmountable amount of challenges, or just that maybe there's been more obstacles than you've known what to do with. You kind of are gritting it out every day, or trying to like overcome certain obstacles in your life. Or maybe there's one in particular. Okay, so we have the Moon card, which is also a card, it's a card about feeling lost. And so for some of you, like the message here, the winged message would be there's spiritual tests that you're undergoing. And, for some of you, there's spiritual lessons that you're learning, and it's not always easy. So some of you may be going through a period of growth. For some of you, you may have had just so much, like I call it, the last 3 years, it has been like an impossible burden for many people, is going to mean different things. But to me, the words impossible burden comes through my mind. And that is honestly when we reach out to God. That is when we reach out to our spirit guides. That's when we say, okay, like I can't go through this on my own. I can't carry this burden. So some of you may feel burdened during this period of time. You might feel burdened by finances. You might be burdened by responsibilities for your family or for your children. For some of you, it's a not feeling like you have what you need, or not feeling like you are seeing things from like a higher perspective. Like for some of you, it's a perspective issue where it's like, so like the test is to kind of be up here, right? In this card, we have these birds flying up here, and to see things from that higher perspective. We have this owl looking down. The higher perspective from the guides and angels, that's the owl. The guides, the deceased loved ones, that's all somebody who's passed, is they're able to see things we're not. They're able to really look at everything through the higher perspective of love. And this higher perspective of forgiveness and love and humility and grace. And like, we can't always do that. We cannot always take the higher road. And like, so like the message here is for some of you, you're spiritually being tested, but your guides and angels are there. And for some of you, like, I guess, like, I really want to address, like, and really validate that the fact is that some of you have impossible burdens and things that you have either got to give up to God, or you have had to ask for help on, or you've had to really, really trust that the ground was going to rise up to meet you and that you were going to have what you needed. And for some of you, you did not. Like, this is like a failing, like a spiritual failing on your guides and angels' part, where you did not have what you needed. And in some way, that is the spiritual test. Like, it's hard to explain this. Like, the spiritual test is in some way to believe that we're going to be okay no matter what. That's faith. Faith is believing you're going to be okay no matter what. And faith is believing in a higher power. Faith is believing and seeing things from this higher perspective, that there is a reason and a reason to the madness, and enough strength to get through things. But like, I don't know how, it's like a contrary contrast issue. For example, okay, so like we're going to use the example of me and my car. Okay, me and my car was an example of how I did not have what I needed. And that led to damage. That led to severe damage in all aspects of my life. Damage to my physical health, to my physical body, permanent damage to my lungs, my kidneys, and just and my heart and everything else. So like, there's just permanent damage. And so for some of you, like, it's hard to see how, like I look at it from the perspective of, it's a spiritual test because I did not have what I needed, and it was a failing. But the failing is what creates the test. The failing is when things fail, when things don't work out, when you are in a place of dire need, or in a place of, I can't get through this, or I can't carry this burden, or like, that is when the failing happens, that's when you say, okay, I am going to trust. I have to trust that things are going to be all right. That somehow, some way, I'm going to make it through this. And some people don't make it through. And some people, it's too hard. It's too much. And I feel like for some of you, like the acknowledgement here from what I'm seeing, is for some of you, the winged message is that, it has been too much on you. It has been too much of a burden. It's been a burden. It's been something that you have not been able to carry, or you've not felt like you had what you needed in order to carry it. And that is why it's a spiritual test. I have to tell you, I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to say, you're going to get through everything okay. When I feel like the message is not about whether you're going to get through it okay or not. The message is about understanding that you do have guides and angels looking out for you. Number one. Number two is that at some point, you're going to have less worry, less stress, because we have this Six of Swords. At some point, you're going to understand that the reason of the madness behind what a spiritual test actually is. And for some of you, you're going to feel in some way blessed by it, because you're going to feel closer to God. You're going to feel closer to other people. You're going to feel like, oh my God, like I feel closer to your humanity, closer to all the good things in your heart, you know? But it's good, you know, it might come from, again, a spiritual failing, a spiritual failing where there or a failing amongst your peers, or a failing amongst people in your life, or a failing, you know, from your guides to get you through whatever. But again, it wouldn't be a test if there was no failing to begin with from the outer external, okay, in your world. So, you know, I tell people, everybody's going to have to figure out how to get through their challenges and their tests. Number one, you're going to need to ask for help. Number two, you're going to need to trust on some level that whatever you're going through is going to lead you to something else, and that you're going to, on some level, learn a lot from that process, even if it sucks, even if it's painful, and even if it leads to damage. I also have to say, you got to trust your body and love yourself so hard. Trust your body. Get back into your body, love yourself more than you've ever loved yourself, because that's also part of the spiritual test. I mean, we are here in a physical body. You have to get into your body in order to pass a spiritual test. You have to be in the physical in order to do it. Otherwise, the spiritual will become the downfall or the pitfall of your life, where you will lose. Or you will pass. Either you change or you pass. You transform or you die. You learn, like, and go through the spiritual tests while in a physical body, and that's what we're all doing. You grow from it, or you give up on it. And that's why it's a test. I feel like for most of you, you're not going to give up. You're going to get through it, in the sense that there's going to be a way for you to navigate it. And I strongly recommend, you know, following your nose, asking for help, going to churches, going to places that have resources. But I also feel like for many of you, the message is that you're going to be sleeping better later in time. You're going to be freer from the worry and stress later in time. And whatever your losses are, because, you know, we have this broken wing here, and that's loss, that's hurt, that's pain and suffering. And we have this feather here, which is about feeling lost, or having lost, because I lost the other earring that was a pair to it. So, like, for some of you, you might have lost a lot in this process, and that's, again, this part of the spiritual test. This is very fascinating. I was not expecting to do this reading like this, but this is what's coming out here. There's a lot of, some of you, like, your spiritual test or your spiritual lesson is about learning about the spiritual side of life in itself, learning about how to trust God or higher power or creator or whatever you want to call it. Learning how to be in your physical body and take care of yourself while going through a spiritual test. Okay, hang on. I gotta stretch here. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to pull another card to see what other messages are coming through here. It's so interesting. Like, I was not expecting this. Like, all of these cards, essentially, there's wings in all of these cards. So this is very appropriate for this theme. This is the High Priestess, and you can see she has wings. And I actually want to talk about, like, one of the positive things that I was thinking about this winged series. Like, there's certain times in my life in which I have felt like I had wings. And there's certain things that have made it possible. For sometimes I feel like I have wings when I have money to spend and I know like I'm able to pay for things, and there's not a lot of resistance. I can just go and get it done. Like it's very simple. That's what makes me feel like I have wings. But I wanted to see, like, in this reading, like, what's going to give you guys wings? Like, what's going to make you feel maybe free? And okay, so this is an interesting message. Like for some of you, the message is about drinking pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice helped, actually, I would say, save my life because it helped with there's so much potassium that it reduced like the muscle issues that I was having. It almost happened like overnight. So for some of you, you can see she's holding a pomegranate. And so for some of you, the pomegranate is going to be something that gives you energy. It's a superfood. I would definitely encourage for some of you to take potassium or to look into taking a potassium supplement. For some of you, it is drinking pomegranate juice. For some of you, it's actually fertility. Like there's things about fertility here. I also feel like one of the messages that wants to come through is like, there's all these sticks around her belly. And like, to me, it's like being outside, being in the forest. When you go to the woods or when you go for a walk in nature, it gives you a sense of freedom where it clears your energy field of all the junk, helps you to relax. I definitely encourage you, some of you, you're not going to feel like you have wings unless you're out in nature or you have gone out into nature. And sometimes, like for me, it's like I go through periods of time where it's like if I don't go for a walk in the woods, I can feel a huge difference. So for some of you, I don't know how long it's been since you went for a walk out in nature, but you need to get out into nature. You need to feel the freedom, like the wings, that feeling of freedom or that feeling of like acceptance or that feeling of belonging or that feeling of like, you're clear, like your energy is clear. That is going out into nature. What else? I feel like there's some healing here. And I don't know entirely what that's going to be. Like for some of you, it's actual sexual healing where it's like maybe you sleep with someone and it makes you feel like you've got wings. For some of you, it is falling in love or like, that feeling of like when you meet somebody new and you go on some dates and you feel like kind of fuzzy, like warm and fuzzy, and it kind of makes you feel light. I feel like for some of you, it's falling in love. It's falling in love or just like that feeling of like lightness. It's going to be different for everybody, but I asked this guy that I used to work with once, I was like, is it the same like when men fall in love as women? They're like, yeah, it's the same. It's like this warm and fuzzy kind of feeling. And so, men or women, like whoever's watching this, I feel like you are going to have wings. You're going to feel like a sense of freedom or a sense of, lightness when you fall in love or when you date somebody or you meet somebody and you have that feeling of almost like, to me, it feels like a little self-consciousness. Like you feel self-conscious and you feel like, oh my God, like, what am I wearing? Holy shit. What does my makeup look like? Is everything running down my face? What's my mascara doing? Like, and you kind of get a little bit adrenal and you're like, I need to redo my entire wardrobe. And you get like freaked out a little. And so like for some of you, like that's what's going to give you the wings, like having maybe butterflies for somebody or feeling like you've fallen in love with somebody or feeling like, yeah, like you've got feelings, for somebody, like just like very strong feelings. And I'm getting this interesting psychic smile. So for some of you, like very strong feelings. I definitely would say if you're dating somebody, this is like you having very strong feelings or they having very strong feelings for you. I also see, the High Priestess, to me, this is a card absolutely about fertility and pregnancy. The thing that's going to give you wings is actually, for some of you, is getting pregnant. Whether your female partner is pregnant, or whether you yourself are pregnant, I feel like it's going to give you wings. It's going to give you this, like, oh my gosh, feeling, like I'm seeing this butterfly here, this feeling of lightness, this feeling of, I don't know, maybe it's the hormones, feeling of success, or just like, I don't know, like a very positive feeling. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, last card. I'm gonna have to end this soon. Is the Chariot. So what's gonna give you wings is winning something, success. This is also driving someplace very fast. So for some of you, taking like a trip somewhere, or going somewhere where things happen fast. It could be the speed at which events are happening in your life. So like things speeding up, whereas like if things have felt slow or if things have felt stuck, like when you physically move your body faster, or when the events in your life happen faster, where it's like, oh, okay, we have to do this today, and oh shit, I have to go over there tomorrow, and like things are moving quickly, maybe even a change that you make in your life that's fast or quick. I feel like that's going to give you some wings. Like it's almost like going into, that flight or fight mode. Like you're going to go into flight mode when you have to go someplace, and maybe you're traveling, or for some of you, if you go on vacation, it's going to give you wings. It's going to make you feel free. Like you're going to have a really good time. I feel like some of you, you're going to, I don't know, just like feel like your energy is shifting from like this, like everyday, like slugging and out mode to like, oh, I've got a pep in my step, and I'm positive, and I'm feeling light, and I'm feeling like, I can get, get things that are making you happy. Like it's interesting. This Chariot is about success, but it's also about, I was going to say, like, to me, it's like about, it feels really happy. It feels, the thing that's going to give you wings is when you feel happy. And what is happiness? I feel like for many, it's like temporary bliss. So something that you go do like on the fly, like you're like, okay, I'm just going to go like on a short trip over here. Or, okay, I'm just going to go to the store, really quickly and buy something over there. It's something that you do on a whim, or something that happens last minute, or something that you're not expecting to have to do quickly or fast. And it's going to give you like this feeling of lightness, of freedom, of happiness, of, wow, like I'm moving quickly, and I'm moving quickly through things, and things are moving forward. For many of you, it's forward momentum to the maximum. Okay. That's going to give you wings. Like no more blockages, no more like, delay. Okay. If you have had, and Shannon Yvette calls it demonic delay. I don't like to usually use those terms, but sometimes it's very applicable. Like if you felt like there was a lot of delays in your life, maybe delayed success, maybe something you had to work for years and years just to get to management, or just to get a bonus, or just to get a raise, or just to get ahead. Like this is where you achieve something that took a long time, and for you to get it, it's like a big deal. And I'm very happy for you. I feel like it's going to make you feel like you've got wings, whatever it is. For some of you, it's like a lateral move, like you're changing jobs within the same company, but it's still forward momentum. And I'm proud of you and happy for you. So I'm going to leave off here. Thank you guys so much. I wish you guys all the best, and I'll talk to you soon. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. Take care.